Hey, what's up? What's going on out there? I was looking at this interview with Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz. I think it's about an hour. But in this particular part of the interview, Tucker Carlson was talking to Ted Cruz about his support for the modern state of Israel. And Ted Cruz is going to give his explanation. I thought it was interesting because Tucker Carlson kind of exposed Ted Cruz about why he supported the modern state of Israel. And he gave a interesting answer, which was it didn't make any sense, but I knew what he was doing. But I'm gonna let the video play and give my 1-2.
And let's get into Iran momentarily, but you suggested it was a strange thing that I said a minute ago, that when I came into the Senate, I resolved that I was going to be the leading defender of Israel. And what you didn't ask is why. So let me tell you why.
No, you said I was obsessed with Israel, and you had just told me that like your driving motive to get to the Senate was to defend Israel. I'm like, I don't think I'm the one who's obsessed with Israel.
Okay,
I don't even think about Israel.
Tucker, words matter.
Uh-huh.
And you know that. I said I resolved to be the leading defender of Israel, and you said your driving motive, the reason you're in the Senate.
You want to be the leading defender of Israel. I would think if I ran for Senate, I'd be like, there are people dying of drug ODs on the street.
My driving motive is to fight for Texas and America, and to fight for jobs, and to fight for the Constitution. And you played a very, very careful word game of eliding
You're the one who said it, not me.
So you still haven't asked why, but I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
And the reason is twofold. Number one, as a Christian, growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed.
All right, that's his first mistake right there, because the modern theology, or the theology that's been taught to the so-called Christian, is false. And he's trying to equivalate that to supporting the modern state of Israel, which, if those who know and those who really study the good book will know, that the modern state of Israel has nothing to do with the ancient Israelites, and that's a fact. And I don't need to explain it or say anything about it. If you do an inkling of research, you'll find that out. But a lot of so-called Christians don't even know that. And I use the term Christians very, very loosely, because modern Christians don't know what a real Christian is anyway.
And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the script.
I'm laughing because Tucker is picking up already on Ted Cruz's BS. Like, if you're going to embrace a certain doctrine or a certain belief system, like, you have to know what you're talking about, and not just talking. And Tucker Carlson is picking up on that from Ted Cruz. It's somewhere in the Bible. I don't know, but that's what I believe. Like, he just sounds like an idiot.
Off the tip of my, you pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. But so you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it, and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker,
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two,
well, hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what, hold on, define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the descendants
God's
of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
Tucker Carlson is letting this dude have it, man. Tucker Carlson, like I said earlier, is picking up on Ted Cruz's BS, and Tucker Carlson knows something, at least a little bit. Like I said, he knows that the current state of Israel has completely nothing to do with the ancient Israelites at all. at all. Matter of fact, if you study and you read the scriptures, the good book, it'll say that the land is going to vomit you out or expel you if you break my commandments. The ancient Israelites did that. That's why they got expelled out of the land. And even if you read the New Testament with the Messiah, he talked about, I believe is Luke the 21st chapter. He talked about the land being overran by Gentiles, like outsiders, being trampled down, and telling the Israelites that are there to get out because the land is going to be destroyed. So the ancient Israelites are not there. They don't occupy that land anymore, and they're not there. They're scattered abroad. Like if you read the good book, you see that like the Most High scattered the Israelites like a whirlwind amongst all nations.
It is. Okay.
And by the way, it's not run by Benjamin Netanyahu as a dictator. It's a democratic country that elected.
But he's the prime minister.
Right.
What?
But just like, America is the country run by Donald Trump. No, actually, the American people elected Donald Trump. The same principle
This is
there.
silly. I'm talking about the political entity of modern Israel.
Yes, and that is
You believe
Israel.
that's what God was talking about in
Yes.
Genesis.
I do, but
That country's existed since when?
for thousands of years.
Hey, Ted Cruz, I mean, my fault. Tucker Carlson is stupid. He said, since when? Like, because he knows it's just recent. Like the Zionist movement, the Balfour Declaration, when they had they tried to establish the land of Israel for those Johnny-come-lately so-called Jews and Ukraine and all that type of stuff. That's the government that Tucker Carlson is talking about. Again, Ted Cruz has no damn idea what he's talking about. He's going over some learning from Sunday school, and he learned probably 50 years ago and 70, whatever, how old the hell old he is. He learned in Sunday school. He just sounds like a damn idiot.
Now, there was a time when it didn't exist, and then it was recreated just over 70 years ago.
I'm saying, I think most people understand that line in Genesis to refer to the Jewish people, God's chosen people.
That's not what it says.
Okay, Israel, but you don't even know where in the Bible it is. So I don't know if we can...
I don't remember the scriptural citation. But, okay,
It's like Genesis 16 or something like that. But yes, it's in the earlier part of the book. But the point is...
All right, Tucker, you keep interrupting me before I finish my sentence.
It's just important to know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're... So you're saying as a Christian, if I believe in Jesus, I have to support the modern state of Israel?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm explaining for me what my motivation is.
But okay, so I'm just trying to understand. You said God tells you to support the modern state of Israel in the Bible, in some place in the Bible that you heard about, but you don't know where it is. That's your theology?
You're going back, am I a sleazy feline again? I mean,
if you accuse me of anti-Semitism again, I will say that, but I don't think you will.
Try to be a little less condescending. I'm trying to have a conversation.
Condescending. You're throwing this stuff out, and it's my job to figure out what you're talking about. Okay, but I don't understand.
But you're not letting me.
Okay. I'm sorry. I want to be polite.
That is, for me, a personal motivation. But I also, what I was about to say, I don't believe my personal faith, not everyone who I represent is a Christian. It's not an argument for me to give that we should do this because of my faith. And so as an elected official, I don't give that as the reason we should support Israel. That is a personal motivation for me, but I don't think it is the reason we should. The reason that I am the leading defender of Israel is because Israel is our strongest ally in the Middle East, an incredibly troubled part of the world, and supporting Israel benefits America. And the clearest illustration of that is what is happening right now. Let me just make this point, and then...
Okay, and then I'll just ask what you mean. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, Iran, I think the most acute national security threat facing America right now is the threat of...
All right, I'm going to end the video right there. And he just basically said why he supports the modern Israel or whatever is because of national security and because they're one of our biggest allies in that region. That's why, not because of blessing Israel and all this other BS he's talking about. That's the real reason why. And he just tried to use his belief in the scriptures as a guise to really cover up the real reason why. And the real reason why is because he just said it, because of national security and them being an ally to us. That's why. That's why Tucker Carlson kind of like in that part of the interview was kind of looking at him like he had like 3 heads or something. He was just talking out the side of his neck like just a damn fool. But yeah, that's my 1-2 on the video. Leave your commentary. Let me know what you think.